It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. So, Ryan, why don't you give us a little bit of your backstory? How did you get into the land? Like, how did you get into the home service industry? How did you get into lighting? And then let's transition into more about the program that you got.
Yeah, cool. So my backstory is I wasn't raised to be an entrepreneur. I didn't have that in the family or anything like that. I was the first one in my family to go to college. So I was kind of excited about that. I was like, I'll do this college route and then I'll get a job where they give me a car and a cell phone at the time and a signing bonus. And I was going to make like a few $100,000, starting out of college. Well, I got my marketing degree and I got a job for $30,000 a year, which was really, awesome. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I just went to 4 years of school to get 30 grand, which actually 30 grand with no bills and no kids goes a lot further than you'd think, but still I was like, this sucks. So, I kept going. I got my MBA and, at the same time I was getting married in this time of college and stuff. And I decided that I wanted to, I thought I had this idea that I was going to clean windows. And I had no clue about window cleaning. I thought that it was like you go to the gas station and get the squeegee with the scrubber. I was like, surely there's a store somewhere around that sells those and I'll just go clean some windows. Like I thought I was inventing the window cleaning community, basically. I was that ignorant. And so I find this cleaning store and I go in there and I'm like, holy shit, there's aisles of squeegees and scrub. Like they have holsters. Like, oh my gosh. So that was my introduction to the home service industry because I was like, wow, there's a thing. There's actually window cleaners, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. And so went and knocked doors. Yeah. So I knocked doors. My wife and I did that together. We made some money, got married, and it was cool. But it was like, went back to like my mom's neighborhood to do that. And then I go to school. So it wasn't a business. It was just kind of like a hobby, cool thing to make some money, Yep. But I loved it. Like I loved that interaction with clients and all that. So that was like implanted in my mind. But then again, I'm not an entrepreneur. No one was telling me to go do your own business. I didn't have any guidance. Obviously I thought I invented the window cleaning industry. So I didn't know what I was doing.
You were more of an entrepreneur than you thought. You were just the second one. Somebody had already invented it. You're the second one.
Yeah. Like thousands of people had already invented it. So I went back to school, did all that. And then I even got a sales job that I was making pretty good money, a little over $100,000 after I got my MBA. And that was good because we didn't have many bills and stuff. But, I was sitting in the office and I would always look outside. I'm like, this sucks. I'm on the phone all the time. And it was boring. I was like, you could pay me double and I wouldn't like it anymore. It still sucked,
Yep.
So my brother at the time had moved from Utah to Texas. And it was around the same time I had started my little window cleaning thing. And I told him like, dude, he was trying to get a new start in life and stuff. I said, try window cleaning. Like the homes are bigger there. Instead of 10 windows on a house, there's 50 windows on a house. And everyone's rich in Texas. So it should work out, and he did that. And he did a good little business, just him and maybe one or two other guys, nothing crazy. And so that was kind of how I got started into home service. But what happened was, along the way, he was introduced into Christmas lights, just like a lot of other window cleaners, looking to stay busy in the winter, stuff like that. And he started doing some Christmas lights and we talked about that and stuff, but it wasn't anything crazy. He was probably selling, $60,000, $70,000 a year in Christmas lights in addition to the window cleaning. And one day someone introduced him to landscape lighting and they said, hey, you'd be a good lighting guy. You're kind of like MacGyver. You can figure stuff out and troubleshoot. Why don't you do landscape lighting? And he's like, well, because I don't know what it is. And so
what the hell do you mean landscape lighting? Is that like landscaping, but like not heavy? Just like smaller landscape, like just small rocks, not big rocks, just small rocks, easy on the back.
Exactly. I mean, seriously, there's still a ton of people that don't know what it is. So when he got into that, and I was going to come down there after I got my MBA, I was like, okay, we can conquer the world. I can do anything now, right? And so I was going to quit my job and help him blow up his window cleaning business because that's what I knew how to do. And that's what he knew how to do. And it was like, that was the plan. Well, he called me and I was literally like on the way moving down there. And he's like, hey, I just did these 2 landscape lighting jobs and they each paid me like $4,000 each. And I was like, what's landscape lighting? Like, seriously, what?
How many windows do you have to clean for that?
Well, that's exactly what it came down to. He tells me they like houses and stuff. I'm like, people pay money to put lights on houses? That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But Tell me about that again. And so literally that was the switch. Like there wasn't even really much of a conversation. I was like, hey, I would much rather sell a $4,000 lighting job than a $250 window cleaning job any day of the week. Like if that's what you're telling me is true, we're switching. And I still don't even know what landscape lighting is at the time, you know? And so we moved down there and just started this lighting business out of nothing, you know? And, it was kind of a ignorant start, you know, even with my, you know, MBA, which I have to keep mentioning that because I did spend time and money on it.
There must have been something there because it took time and it took money. So I know I got something for it.
Yeah, I got it right. I mean, can we add it to behind my name right here, Ryan Lee MBA or something? But I was like, okay, we're going to go down and do this. But I didn't know, like I should have, I was actually taught this, but I didn't do it. I didn't do a competitive analysis. I didn't do a SWOT. I didn't do any of this stuff. I just moved down there. And then when you get down there, you're like, oh, damn, there's a lot of people doing landscape lighting already. You know, maybe we should have thought this through a little more, but that ignorance was actually perfect because had I, you know, evaluated it and put it all on paper, I probably wouldn't have done it, honestly, because I would have been afraid to do it. And because I'm like, oh, these guys have been doing it 20 years, whatever. But honestly, that ignorance, like I was able to sell millions and millions of dollars of landscape lighting over my career and take care of my family because of that ignorance. So in some ways, I tell people like, you know what, stop thinking, like, don't evaluate everything and stop, just take action and do it, you know? And that's not always the best advice, you know, depending on what we're talking about, but it worked for me.
It's funny you say that. That's why I left the corporate world, is because I couldn't do that because everything had to be analyzed like so deep. And then somebody with an opinion or with a bonus tied to something would tell you to like change one of your inputs. And then, you know, you just for a year you would just change slides about something you were reporting to management, and then nobody would make a decision for 4 years on it anyway. I was like, why are we doing, like, it's not like we're adding any value. Why didn't we just fucking pick something? We could have done anything in the last 5 years and we would have been better off than paying all of y'all hundreds of thousands of dollars to sit around here and debate what we should be doing. Like, let's just go do something. And I think that ignorance I appreciate in a way, in that, if you like get too risk averse, you're just going to find data that like holds you out of doing something, because you can find the data to support anything to say like the market is saturated, right? But at the end of the day, like if you have a compelling offering and it's priced right, you can go add value to somebody's life. There's no shortage of room in the home service industry. Like there's too many customers for everybody to possibly serve. There's customers that don't know they're customers yet. So just go knock on doors and find it. But everybody's a buyer. So
yeah, that's right.